Diamondbacks let a close game get away late here as they fall to the San Diego Padres 5-2. Hello there, I am Michael McDermott from the AZ Snake Pit, and we're going to be recapping the Diamondbacks' third game of the season. Here, the Padres ultimately winning this game 5-2, late game, and taking advantage of the Diamondbacks' weakness in the back end of the bullpen. So early on, it was a pretty good pitchers duel between both Zach Davies and Joe Musgrove. I think it was a situation again where the Padres matched up pretty well against the D-backs lineup, although they're going to have to make some adjustments going further into the season. It's the third time they've gotten shut down by a Padre pitcher in 3 games. Although I think they came off with a pretty good approach in the first inning. They made Musgrove work a little bit. 21 pitch first inning. I think Marte had a little bit of a saw job. Blooped the ball in between Matt Beatty in left field and the third baseman Manny Machado in the shift. A little shift beater there. It started off, and then next batter David Peralta worked a full count. 3-1 pitch, stared at a hittable fastball, got the same pitch 3-2, hammered it to straightaway center field. Grisham, I think, got a little bit of a slow break on that ball, but I don't think he would have caught up to it anyway. It one hot off the wall. Marte ended up scoring. Awkward slide, but there was no play at the plate. Although Peralta got the third, and it set up the D-backs with an opportunity to put up a crooked number. And I think that's one thing they're going to have to do better at is getting the just put the ball in play and you get a run situation in there. Walker had a decent battle against Musgrove with the runner third and one out, but ultimately ended up striking out on the slider that started right on the outside edge, and it swept right into the left-handed batter's box. I think it was Walker. Walker, when he was looking fastball, got fooled by the breaking ball. When he was looking breaking ball, he was able to spit on it. And then Smith, next pitch, ball hit towards the end of the bat, ended up lining out to center field. I thought that had a shot of getting down in the gap off the bat, but ultimately didn't do that. And that kind of foreshadowed what happened as the Diamondbacks really didn't get a lot going offensively in this game. However, they did get closer against the Padres bullpen. And it was kind of the thing that the D-backs seemed to have more success hitting against the Padres bullpen in their starting rotation. So after the D-backs took a 1-0 lead, third inning, Davies leadoff walk. Looked like he was going to get out of it when ball hit by Beatty. Hit right. Christian Walker thought might have been like a line into double play. It could have been an unassisted double play. Walker catches that, turn around, tag Grisham, ending over. But Walker got handcuffed a little bit, dropped it, and then kind of looked into sights. Didn't know if he was going to try and tag the runner or go to first base. He ended up doing neither. Ended up chasing Grisham for about 3 steps and then lobbing the ball in the second base for 1 out, and that ended up being kind of a misplay that extended inning longer than it should have, and that's something that hurt the team last year where when you needed to get 2 outs, you only got 1. Not necessarily errors, just leaving outs on the field. So then a couple of mistakes that Davies threw his sinker out over the plate. Machado hit a rocket down the third base line. Machado, one of the best hitters at making loud contact, so it was going to be a tough play for any third baseman, not named Nolan Arenado or Matt Chapman to get there. So then after that, let the sinker up in the zone. Jake Cronenworth, who hits like 600 against the D-backs, it seems. I actually looked at, as I said last night, like 276 coming into last night's game, although I'm pretty sure it's closer to 300 now. Cronenworth got a sinker about thigh high, hit a rocket up the middle, score Machado. But then Davies was able to get out of that with no further damage, and that's all he gave up for the game. I thought he looked pretty good. His sinker, he was throwing it in the plate for throwing it over the plate for strikes. He was attacking hitters with it. His changeup was really good. He got some swings and misses on that pitch. He had one at bat where he just challenged a hitter on a full count and swung right through a sinker right down the middle, just challenged him. I thought his command was pretty good. I think a couple of bats got away. Obviously, it was a case where you get ahead of the hitter and then they'd foul off a couple pitches and then a couple waste pitches here. You find yourself in a full count and then you try to make the best pitch and you end up just missing. And it ended up, that's kind of the case with the walks with Davies. Overall, 8 ground ball outs. I liked what I saw from Davies. I think if he can pitch like he did today, I think he'll be a very solid number 4 starter out of this rotation. Give the team some innings and get the bullpen more rest. Bullpen gets less outs. Davies, obviously, 5 innings. He'll take it first start. If you can get 5-6 innings to start out of him, I think the rotation will be fine. I mentioned 160 innings in the season preview. That's roughly 5 innings a start. You get that out of Davies, it's going to be a good signing. And right now, he's kind of a stopgap before the teams get their top starting pitcher prospects up to the major leagues in the second half of the season. So anyway, the at bats again. I don't know what their plan is at the plate. Sometimes their mid-game adjustment area bad, bad. Second, third time through the order, the at bats were getting progressively worse against Musgrove. That's something the team's going to have to do better. There was one point of the game where Musgrove had a 6 pitch inning and a 7 pitch inning. I think that was the third and fourth inning, and it was they were on their way. And then at one point they were close to doing the same thing again, but Peralta got 2 hittable breaking balls, didn't miss the second one, hit a opposite field home run off Musgrove to tie it. It's obviously when you see David Peralta driving balls to left center field, that's when I feel like his swing was on. Although I don't think he actually got all that on the home run. It went 400 feet, but didn't feel like he squared it up at the same time. So I was just saying, Peralta has looked very good in 3 games at the plate. That's definitely a development that should pretend well to the team. I don't think Peralta's a guy you keep long term, but perhaps if he has a good first half, you try and leverage him in a trade and pick up something. Or maybe you sign him to a 1 or 2 year extension, depending on if you think his bat will progress in a year or so. I do think he'll age pretty well, 34, but he's not a speed reliant guy. Speed reliant guy, and he's got pretty good fundamentals that he can rely on. And also, he's compensated for his age by shortening his bat path to the plate, to the strike zone. And I think that'll allow him to play well in his mid 30s. Even if he becomes only a DH type, a platoon DH type in his mid to late 30s, but that in itself deserves its own video. But so then 2-2 game. I thought they got good work out of the bullpen. First 2 guys that came in. Noe Ramirez, I believe, pitched the 7th. I thought he did a pretty good job. Leadoff double, I think, although the double I think should have been an out. Contra just kind of barely missed the ball. That's a play I think Drew Ellis makes at third base. Yeah, he had to dive for it, but the ball wasn't exactly hit hard. But Ramirez got a huge strikeout on the very next hitter, and he just made Abrams look like a rookie, look like a 21-year-old rookie with those 2 changeups, especially that last one he threw him. And then Ramirez got a soft ground ball to the right side off Grisham. In that case, with 1 out, you don't mind that. And then he got a strikeout to end the inning. Like I said, I think Noe Ramirez, I think there's a lot of staying power for what he did last year. He's a guy that kind of keeps hitters off balance. You can't really square him up because of the angle that he throws, kind of funky arm delivery, and it comes out at a 3/4 angle. And then he throws a lot of off-speed deliveries. That changeup was absolutely filth. Got 4 swings and misses on that pitch alone. Oh yeah, Mantiply pitched the 6th inning. Joe Mantiply, another good outing for him. He was the winner on opening night, and I think having a lefty that isn't just a matchup guy, I think will help the team pretty well. Like I said, I think he's a 5th, 6th inning guy, middle inning reliever, but he gives you pretty consistent production day in day out when they ask him to. So then we get to the part of the bullpen, 8th inning, and that's the part that concerns me. Obviously, Kennedy, first batter single, and then a stolen base, put him in scoring position. And then another next batter hit into an out, runner moved up to third base. And then that's kind of where the wheels fell off, and that's where Kennedy being a 1-pitch pitcher, a fastball. And then I mentioned in the spring training, and that his spring training velocity was down. That was just a spring training thing. Maybe the radar gun wasn't calibrated correctly, but it was back up to 94. So at least we don't have to worry about velocity being his undoing. Ended up getting lit up pretty hard because, again, if you're a 1-pitch pitcher, unless that 1 pitch is great, batters can square it up, kind of thing. And really, Kennedy was the first pitcher the Padres had it squared up at all on a consistent basis. 4 balls hit over 100 miles an hour. That's going to be something that concerns this front office. Fortunately, so that ended up putting the Padres up 4-2 in the 8th inning, and that was coincidentally at the same time went through a blackout. Affected about a 1 mile square radius from my house, and ended up missing the last 2 innings of the game. But I was following along in the game MLB app. So 9th inning, after Kennedy gets out of the 8th inning, could have been more damage. Even the sack. So the walk, Hosmer hit a single. I swear, Eric Hosmer only exists just to torture the D-backs, kind of thing. Somehow he'll end up on the Dodgers. And then after Hosmer's single, Austin Nola sac fly, made it 4-2, and that was it there. Then we go into the ninth inning. Mark Melancon coming in, and I said in the season preview that the two guys to watch are Kennedy and Melancon. And unfortunately, they proved me right. Hopefully, that's just a one-game blip. D-backs have a certain thing with debuts, with closing pitchers. I remember Rodney's debut was pretty bad. And we're talking about the one relief pitcher that was actually good. One old relief pitcher that actually worked out for the team. Then Melanson, yeah, Melanson gave up a hit, and then there was some sloppy defense, pass ball by Jose Herrera. And I don't know if that was a cross up situation. Couldn't see it. Pass ball, then the runner moved at the third on a ground out. So the D-backs had to draw the infield in down two. The runner third and one out. Base hit by Jose Azocar. Ended up making it 5-2. And then Melanson would retire the next hitter before Herrera gunned down Azocar trying to steal second. So then after that, obviously, Diamondbacks against Taylor Rogers 0 for 6, I believe. Like I said, the Padres gave up quite a bit to get him, although I think I think the Padres are in a situation where it's playoffs or bust kind of season, and they're making a lot of moves. Yeah, Taylor Rogers obviously looks like a great move for them 2 games in. Kind of see the difference between aging and a real closer, I suppose. So the D-backs end up closing the game out with that whimper for the second straight night. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the AZ Snake Pit here on YouTube, and check us out at azsnakepit.com for all analysis covering the Diamondbacks this season. Should be some interesting articles and comments as the season comes along. You'll want to check them all out. We cover everything. Including in-game analysis, in-game analysis. We have game recaps, both major and minor leagues, as well as some other fun stuff. There's some fun features like the Pit Your Wits every Saturday is one of them. The meme Mondays every Monday, and all sorts of fun stuff involving this team.